Welcome back to Wave the Swallow Reads Chapter 12 of The Walking Dead Hope. I'm Wave the Swallow. Now let's continue where we left off. Glad you could come. Lewis nodded, rubbing the sleep off his eyes and sitting down at the desk. On it was a map that Maggie marked for them, 3 pins attached to it. Javier pointed at one of the farthest south, saying that was Erickson. The biggest one was Richmond, surrounded on the map by the circle of walls. On the north side of the map, circled in red ink, was a 3rd pin representing the rough location of the right arm's base. Lizzie said you had something in your mind, Lewis said, the woman's name burning in his mouth. Javier looked at him for a moment and then nodded at Gabe. The young man turned and opened a locked cupboard, using the key strapped to his belt. He took something from inside and set on the desk beside Lewis. There were 2 bulky-looking walkie-talkies. These are military-grade walkie-talkies, Javier explained. Taking one in his hand, he clicked the button on the side, and soft static emanated from it. They can reach distance of over 50 clicks and come with solar panels so they won't run out of batteries. He flipped a small lid and revealed 3 little panels for Lewis to see. We don't normally use these for normal missions, as we never have to go outside a 5 to 10 click perimeter from our walls, Gabe said, crossing his arms. Plus, these are the only ones we have. Javi handed one to Lewis, who turned it in his hands. He looked up at the men and raised his eyebrows. And how will this help us find Clem? We can't go into the rescue mission blind, Lewis, Javi said, leaning against the wall. He pointed at the marked red circle on the map. You and I will go to this area and scout out the Terran. We'll use these to let Gabe know what we're up against, and he'll be here mapping out what we report from the ground. You sure you can handle that? Lewis questioned, looking at Gabe. Hey, I said I was sorry, man, Gabe defended himself, looking down. I was just trying to do right by Clem. Whatever, Lewis muttered. Sensing the growing tension in the air, Jeremy cleared his throat, bringing the argument to a close. The trio then discussed the Reckon mission. Lewis eagerly pointed out possible alternatives for every contingency. He was glad to finally be actively working on a plan to get Clem back, with no idea what they could be doing to her and this baby. He was getting more worried by the minute. This plan will work, though. That was the reassurance he kept repeating in his head, like a mantra. After about 30 minutes, they went over the basics. Lewis and Javier took care of the car to the edge of the marked area, hiding it in a tarp and leaves. Though Javi didn't like the idea of leaving it unattended, they couldn't just walk into this place. As Lewis had reminded him, the time of the essence, as was decided, Gabrielle would be staying behind his Richmond, jotting down whatever information Javi and Lewis got from scouting out the place. It was a 10-mile wide area with mostly plain grounds. According to Javi, none of their hunting parties had ever gone that far north, so they had no idea what to expect. Satisfied with their progress, Javi jotted down the trails they kept on the map. Lewis kept fidgeting with his hands, looking at the map with intent eyes. He was trying to find a flaw in their planning, a weakness that would offset their plans and would lead to Clem staying there longer. He willed his brain not to think about that. Javi placed a comforting hand on the freckled man's shoulder, his soft brown eyes searching Lewis's features. This is going to work, Lewis. I know it is, Lewis replied, looking up at him with determination. He made an effort to keep his voice steady, because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't. And that was Chapter 12 of The Walking Dead Hope, written by Goofy Gomez. What do I think of it? I I actually find this chapter to be really nice. Paragraph structuring was good, sentence structuring was really good. And I'm personally hoping that Clementine and her baby will make it out okay. And by the look of it, I think Louis and Javier are gonna make it and get Clem back from being held against her will. Now that was an adventure I would truly love to be a part of. And I wish the Babylon Rogues could actually make an adventure for once. Or possibly appear in a future Sonic game that doesn't involve extreme gears. Well, if it does involve with little extreme gears, then that's fine. But, sorry, I'm kind of getting off topic. Other than that, this chapter is really good. And so far, this story is really fantastic. Goofy Gomez, you're doing a great job on the story so far. Keep it up, kiddo. Now, what do you think of this chapter? Did you all like it or did you not? Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And are you enjoying this story so far, or are you not enjoying it? Don't forget to let me know in the comment section down below. Well, I better get back into working up on the extreme gears for Jet and Storm. Because last week they got their extreme gears dirty after dragging them in the mud, literally. And they shorted out, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But other than that, thank you very, very much for watching. This is Wave the Swallow, signing off.